Hey everybody, Rob Lavigne. If you haven't seen me in a while, the beard. If you also haven't seen me in a while, it's probably because I've been doing a lot of stuff with motion capture and avatars and digital humans and stuff like that. So it's more likely you've seen those on your feed as opposed to this. In any case, I wanted to put together a quick video kind of showing you some of the options that are out there in terms of your video capture. So obviously your straight to camera is what everybody has. And if you've got a Plexicam like me, you've got perfect eye contact with people, which is an amazing plug to Plexicam. What you have to worry obviously about is stuff like lighting, background, white, green screen, in the case of what I got behind me, how you look, and obviously how you sound, which is extremely important. But after a while, you kind of get a bit of fatigue of being on the screen. So you might want to look into stuff like avatars. So what avatars are, and in this particular case here, I'm using the Zoom avatars, are basically just a little cartoonish or whatever representation. They pick up your basic head motion, your mouth motions, and in this case, obviously the eyes as well, which is kind of cool. Your options are out there as there's snap lenses, which is a plugin that you can run, and there's plenty of different lenses that are available to you, very similar to what you have here. But I find that to be extremely CPU intensive. Now, one of the nice things about the Zoom one here is it shares some of that CPU load between your machine and the cloud. So you're always going to need a certain degree of CPU to be able to do some of the stuff that you're seeing here. So some of your machines might not be able to do this. But at the end of the day, fundamentally, this is just taking a basic frame of your head, meaning eye, mouth, and stuff like that, and doing, a filter, nothing more, nothing less, but it is capturing some basic motion, which is kind of cool. Some of the things that you see out there right now would be your digital humans. So your digital humans basically, take either an AI voice or a real voice such as this, and basically do the lip motion and some of the facial aspects to give you the impression that this digital human is actually speaking what you're hearing. And most of the time, these are actors that are filmed in front of a green screen, and their body motions vary, from actor to actor, right? So you might find some of the motions don't necessarily match what's being said, even though the lips are perfect. The body kind of falls short. And I think that's where the next step, you're seeing stuff like Unreal having their engines to be able to do wireframe digital humans. You're going to basically see the work being done on the mouth and facial that you see in these digital humans being applied to a much wider mesh, and eventually won't need your human actors, unfortunately, in front of a green screen. You're going to be mostly doing motion capture and body capture for motions and stuff like that, which brings us kind of to puppeteering, which is an old but new thing, and it is kind of in line with what we're doing today. And in this particular case, I still have your basic motion of the body and of the head and of the eyes, and then the mouth obviously is picking up my mouth motions and kind of putting the right, more or less, lip to go with it. And it's not as fine tuned, but you're kind of not having to worry about it as much because it's a cartoon. You kind of expect it to not be perfect. Whereas a digital human, you're always picking up the flaws, unfortunately, because it's not real. This kind of breaks that suspension of disbelief, if you will, and kind of just lets you accept that what's being said is of value, and really the avatar or the persona is there just to kind of add to it, and kind of leads into what I'm talking about here is when you're getting into this layer, similar to, an Unreal layer, is you now got full body control, right? So I can tilt my head, as we've been talking about. I can sway my body. Those are all available to me, but I can also move my hands, and that gives me a lot of emotion and ability to pace with what I'm saying in real time as I'm recording this, as opposed to hoping that a pre-recorded body motion matches what I'm trying to say right now. And it really gives you a lot more control. And like I said, if you kind of take this concept and really take it to the next level, that's your Unreal metahumans and stuff like that, because you're looking at a wireframe here of maybe 15 points, whereas when you're getting into a full body capture with gloves and multiple cameras and stuff like that, you're talking hundreds of data points that make make up the wireframe of the actor, portraying whatever avatar. But what's really nice about it is, like me, if you spend a lot of time in front of a camera, you obviously want to spend the time making sure that you're well lit and you're using a Plexicam so that you're making eye contact. But there comes a time where you kind of just want to not be on camera, but still be on camera. And I think that's where these digital humans and avatars and so forth really play a role. And as we get into rapid curated content, my time to produce material when I'm not having to worry about lighting and all the other stuff goes up quite considerably. So something to consider.